Mic check. 5, 4, 3, 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Bro, I need a haircut. Yellow. Nobody says yellow. It's been too long since I've done one of these. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good day. Today, I'm very excited to bring this video. This is probably the first video of 2021 that we're making. Today, I'm very excited because I finally was able to go purchase all of my stuff from my at-home bow shop, so I don't have to take mine or Cass's bow to a pro shop anymore. I can do my own stuff. So excited to tell you that. I'm gonna give you the grand tour here in a second, but today, for today's video, the first video of the year, we're gonna be building some arrows. I'm gonna walk you through my arrow setup, how we do it, and we're gonna build these arrows together. I've already built one, I gotta tell you, no, I'm sorry, two. X Impacts by Black Eagle, 250 spine, that's what I'm shooting, weighing in around 520 grains. Some of y'all say, that's heavy. Listen, I'm not here to debate heavy arrows versus light arrows with y'all, to each his own. Yeah, so that's what it is. And you guys are gonna be with me while I build these arrows today, all right? But first, let me give you the grand tour. All right, y'all. I apologize for the sucky lighting. I know professionals aren't supposed to have shadows like that, but it's okay. There it is right there. Last Chance Archery Deluxe Easy Press, complete with all your essentials. It's got the draw board, so I can draw it back, check timing on cams and stuff. Let's see what else. Arrow inspector with my arrow saw. D-cut arrow saw, that's what that is. This thing right here is pretty sweet. This is from Last Chance Archery as well. It is called the Veinmaster Pro. I'm getting faster, but we're still, you know, around the 5-minute mark. I need to get a little bit faster. And then got an arrow squaring tool right there by G5, I believe is who make that. Got all these wraps and veins. Some of them from last year, some of them from this year. Got the deer I killed last year with my bow. Heavy arrow setup. Helped me with that right there. And then last but not least, the GOAT, Mr. Levi Morgan himself. And that's the grand tour. Let's build some arrows. You know, if I was a smart man, and I'm not, but if I was, I would have set this bow shop up to where I can like have the camera in front of me and you can see what I'm doing. But I'm not smart. So I put the whole bench on like the wall, so I can't get a camera behind it, obviously. So that's why you're seeing this weird camera angle, and that's why I'm gonna have to like set my iPhone up over here so I can have this camera angle and another one so you can actually see what I'm doing. Let's go. All right, so real quick, let me tell you how I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna build all 12 arrows with y'all. I'm not that interesting. So I'm gonna build one arrow. We're all gonna build one arrow together. Oh my God, that's so cute. We're gonna build one arrow together, and obviously that's how the rest of them will go. I didn't really know the weight of my arrows, what they were gonna be this year. Last year, they were around 575 grains. Nothing wrong. Did really good. I killed a good 10 point that you just saw on the wall a while ago with a terrible shot. Didn't get it on film. I actually saw a bigger deer 15 minutes before and missed him. And I do have that on film, but we'll talk about that later. I'll show you that later. You don't want to see that. This year, because I'm shooting a little bit lighter grains per inch and I've cut my arrows a little bit shorter, I've been able to knock off about 50 grains, 55 grains, because now I'm sitting at about 520. So I've got a little bit more speed, a little bit more FOC because I've got the same amount of weight up front that I had last year. So let's just go over top to bottom. This is a Black Eagle X Impact 250 spine. The reason I shoot 250 spine is because I load the front down and anything weaker than a 250 might explode. I cut them to, with the knock in the arrow, 27 inches. Because, what's up? Because with these Black Eagle X Impacts, they come with an insert-outsert system if you want it. It's called the Focus Insert-Outsert System. It's a total of 100 grains. It's an insert and a screw and an outsert, and it adds a good inch, almost a little bit, maybe more than an inch, but at least an inch to your arrow, if you can see it right there. Hold on, let me use my second camera angle. So it's this outsert system. This is a 125 grain tip, because that's what the grain I'm gonna be shooting. But this outsert right here is over the shaft, and the shaft comes to about right here. So it adds a good inch to your arrow. So that's why I cut my arrow so short. So Black Eagle X Impact 250 spine, 27 inches with the knock-in, total of 225 grains up front. The insert, outsert, and the screw all weigh about 100, right at 100 grains. The 125 grain head that I'm going to be shooting Pause. This is the broadhead that I'm going to be shooting this year. Shot it last year, freaking loved it. The Iron Will Wide 125. It's high grade steel, can be used over and over again. And when they come out of the box, let me tell you something. When they come out of the box, these things will shave hair off your arm. And then once you shoot a deer with them, you can actually, they're really easy to sharpen. They're really easy to disassemble. A little star bit right there, and then just take it apart. And you can sharpen them with sandpaper. You can sharpen them with a strop. Whatever you got to sharpen something with, you can sharpen these things, and they are razor sharp after you sharpen them. I actually put one into a tree. Remember when I just told you a while ago that I missed that big 8-point 15 minutes before I killed that one? I put one of these into a tree, and it's still there, just for, you know, old time's sake. So that's the tip that I'm shooting, 125 grain Iron Will Wide. Let's see what else we got. Oh, wraps and vanes. So this is a tack vane. These are tack vanes here. They're called tack vane drivers, 2.75 inches, and then that's a 4-inch tack wrap. I shot these last year. I shot these Boning X vanes, and there wasn't anything wrong with them. I just like trying new stuff, and these come highly recommended from the man himself, Mr. Levi Morgan. So I'm going to try these this year, and if they don't work, I can always switch right back to X vanes. But that's what we're going to try this year. A 3 fletch. I've always shot a 3 fletch. A lot of guys like 4 fletch right now, but 3 fletches always work for me, white on white. And then I'm shooting a nocturnal knock. So that's the setup. 520 grains. Now let's build an arrow. All right, first thing I like to do. This comes highly recommended from one of my favorite YouTubers, Mr. Josh Bomar. What I like to do is inspect both ends of the arrow. A lot of guys just, you know, take the arrows out of the box and they just cut immediately off the end, which that's fine. Especially if you're shooting high dollar arrows, it's probably not going to make that bit of a difference. But if you're shooting cheap arrows, I suggest you do this. What you do is you take this arrow inspector. This arrow inspector is like 15 bucks on Amazon, I think. And you just spin it. What I'm doing is, as I'm spinning it, I'm looking to see which end has more wobble in it. And that will automatically be the end that I cut off. Okay, so right off the bat, it looks like this knock end is wobbly. Wobbly? More wobblier? More wobbly. Is wobbly even a word, or is that just something that we've always used in the sticks and just, whatever. It moves more, okay? And that sucks because I really don't want to cut off the top, but that's leaving me no choice. So one of the things about doing this is you'll obviously see that if you choose to not cut off of this end and cut off the knock end, it might make like the logos on your arrows, it might make them look funny, because I'm gonna cut this one from the knock side. These two I cut from the bottom because the bottom was more wobbly. And so now what I'm gonna have is, I'm gonna have these two arrows, and then like the knock side is gonna be, it's literally gonna look like that. Like this logo is gonna be a lot higher than these logos. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Probably just take a rag, and I don't know if I can wipe this off or not. Just for time's sake, I'm gonna get another arrow and find one that's wobbly on this end, because I don't have time to wipe off that label. But it's always good to do this, what I'm doing, okay? Okay, I think I have finally found an arrow that needs cut off this end. Once again, inspect both ends and cut off of the end that's more wobbly, just to make the arrow that much more straight. And like I said, that's probably gonna mess up where the logo is on your arrows, but you can always just wipe it off. Because after looking at this, I can wipe this off, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. Or you can just not wipe it off and quit being so, you know, none of us are professionals, we're not that good. Okay, let's cut this arrow. All right, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I'm gonna take my phone and show you guys this really quick. This is the D-Cut arrow saw, and I like it because you can just leave it. I've got mine left on 27 from the other night when I built those other two arrows. So that's what we're fixing to do. So knot goes in this side, and then one thing that Jesse Broadwater, another one of my favorite archers, talks about in a video. Whichever way your wheel spins on your cuttings on your arrow saw, you want to spin the arrow the opposite way. I have no idea how that helps, but Jesse Broadwater's like,
he's good.
just Google him, okay, and you'll understand why we're just listening to him blind. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so the wheel, if I spin this real quick. Okay, so the wheel is spinning this way, so I'm gonna spin my arrow that way. Okay, all right, here we go. That was quite possibly the worst arrow cut of all time. I'm learning. But that's okay. And I'll show you why that's okay. Because this little tool right here fixes that. So this is the G5 arrow squaring device flip. So the reason this is called the flip is because, so this is the squaring part right here, and I put my arrow on here, and square it like so, right? What if I wanted to square a fletched arrow, like if I wanted to square the back of a fletched arrow, all I have to do is take this and then you unscrew it with an Allen wrench, take it, mount it over here, and then that's why this big gap is right here, so you have room for fletching. But we're gonna fix the mistake that I made squaring this arrow. Here we go. See, so whatever mistake I made cutting the arrow, I just fixed it. Okay, boom. All right, so now after you're done squaring your arrow, this is very important as well. Get any excess carbon out of there. And then take a Q-tip and clean it out, and I'll show you. Ew. The reason we do this is because when you go to, whether you use epoxy or whether you use this Cool Flex stuff right here, either one you use, the more you can clean that shaft out, the better your inserts will stick, whether it's epoxy or hot melt, whatever it is. So that's why we do that. All right. So now that we've got our arrow cut to where we want it, we're also going to take the knock out, and we're going to taper this knock end just so the knock is flush. See this little thing right here? I don't even know what this is called, but if you buy, I bought Easton Axis arrows last year, and they came with this thing, just a little tapering device. It's like I don't even know what it is. Anyway, you just it's kind of like sandpaper, and you just taper the end of your arrow just like this, and then just like you did when you cut it, same thing. Take a clean Q-tip and do the same thing. Clean the knock end of your arrow. Ew. All right, so now we're going to put the wrap on this arrow. It's like, hey, it's raining. That's good. We need that. Are my windows down? I don't know. We'll find out later, I guess, because I'm too into this, bro. All right, so when you put an arrow wrap on, if you've never put one of these on, you don't want to do it on a hard surface like this workbench. What you want is something like this book right here. This is a Lancaster Archery wish book. They call it a wish book. It's just pretty much a product guide that you can order stuff from. You need something with some give to it. If I was professional, I would have like a mouse pad. They sell like mouse pad type things just for putting arrow wraps on and stuff. A mouse pad would work great. You just need something with a little bit of give to it, like a magazine or a mouse pad or something like that, okay? We're gonna take our wrap, tack vein wrap. We're gonna stick it face down. Make sure that you, whichever end that you want on the top of the arrow, make sure that you get it right, because I've done that before too. So I want that tack vein sign on the top of the arrow, Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to line this up perfectly. It's a lot easier than it sounds, I promise. When you first put wraps on for the first time, you're kind of nervous, but then it's just kind of... So you want to even it up pretty good, as much as you can get it, to where you can see like a thin line of magazine in between the wrap and the arrow. An even thin line. And once you get your even thin line, you just roll the arrow. Now, as the arrow wrap comes around, you want to seal it off like this right here. Make sure, as you're sealing it off, make sure that you're pressing really good and really firm against the arrow shaft as you're rolling it too. Boom. That was money. I mean, you can barely tell where the end is. Oh my goodness, that was money. Oh, I love it. All right, check it. Perfect. Now, for those of you who don't bow hunt, understand these wraps right here are not a necessity at all. They're for looks, primarily. They do help you, like if you shoot a deer, they can kind of help you look at the, I'll be able to see the blood on here and see what kind of shot it was, whether it was a gut shot or, you know, heart shot, whatever the case may be, judged on the color of the blood. And, you know, that's why I'm using all white this year. But these are not a necessity by any means, okay? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start fletching the arrow. One thing I didn't mention is, so let me just switch to this camera. So I've got my 3 vanes, my 3 fletch that I'm gonna do. Here's the insert, okay? Here's the insert. I'm not sure if the camera's focused. If it's not, I'm sorry. There's the insert, okay? This little bitty thing here is the screw that goes into the insert. And then here is the outsert, okay? So I've got my 3 vanes here. I've got my outsert, my insert, and the screw. Now, what you wanna do before you ever get to this point, you want to weigh every component of the arrow. You want to weigh the vane, the outsert, the insert, the screw, everything, because there is some differences and some variances in the weight. What I mean by that is sometimes the average on these particular tack vanes, on the white ones, is 6.2 grains. Okay, some of them weigh 5.8. I've had them come in at 5.8. Some of them weigh 6.6. There's almost a grain difference in what this one weighs and what this one could weigh. So what you want to do is you want to weigh them all. Same way with these outsert and the insert and the screw. Every component of the arrow you want to weigh. And what you do is, in order to kind of keep that happy medium, or to try to keep every arrow kind of weighing the same, you want to mix and match. Because if you put all the heavy components onto one arrow and all the light components into another arrow, sometimes you could end up with a 5 grain difference. Now, most guys, 99.9% of you are like, Shane, 5 grains, come on. I understand. I get it, okay? I'm a little bit more particular about this stuff just because when it comes to this stuff, I'm a nerd. Okay, so that's why you want to weigh everything, because things come in at different weights sometimes. And if you can mix and match, like I've got 2 heavy vanes, I've got one of the lighter outserts that I found, and I'm just trying to mix and match and kind of, you know, make the perfect combination of things. That's what I did with this. That's what I did with these too. Like, I think on this one, I think a couple of these vanes were light, so I put one of the heavier inserts and the heavier outserts on there, and the difference between these 2 arrows is like 0.1 grains, and that's what I'm looking for. So I'm just trying to build the most consistent arrow setup. That's it. You don't have to do all that if you don't want to. 5 grains ain't probably going to be the difference between you hitting the deer and not hitting the deer. But if you're trying to have some fun at a 3D shoot and shoot like 70, 80 yards, 5 grains does make a difference. Trust me. All right, let's get after it. Let me move all this stuff and let's start fletching. So, first thing we're gonna do, put old boy into the clamp, line it up. So if you look real close, I don't know if it's focused or not. If you look real close, there's a black mark right there. I just try to line up the back of the vane with the beginning of that black mark. It also helps if you put your vane in the right way. That was not the right way. There we go. So I try to line up the back of the arrow, sorry, the back of the vane with that black mark right there. All right, so once you get your vane loaded into the clamp, you take, tack vanes come with this primer pin. I'm sure a lot of different vanes come with their own glue and stuff, just like tack vanes did. But you take this primer pin and you just do one swipe just to kind of get it ready. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this glue, tack vane glue, and do a very small line. A lot of guys like to do beads and just wipe it down through there. I do a very small line. Okay, once you do the small line, you slide the clamp onto here like so, and you just all the way to the shaft. It doesn't take very long. Okay, I'll leave it on there for about a minute, and once about a minute has come up, I take it off, just slide it right back off, and it sticks to the shaft there. Boom. And then on these last chance archery deals, all you gotta do is turn this wheel, and it calculates where the next vane needs to go for you, which it seems like it thinks is right there. Boom. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing. All right, guys, there is, let me show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. Let me show you. Boom. 3-fletched left helical with an arrow wrap, ready to shoot. Well, not ready to shoot. We got to put the insert and the outsert and stuff on, so yeah. Okay, now for my least favorite part, and the reason it's my least favorite. So this right here is called Cool Flex by Boning. It's specifically made for carbon shafts, and what it is it replaces epoxy. A lot of the old school guys use epoxy. Epoxy is still heavily used, even more than this, which is fine. The problem with epoxy is if you use epoxy to put your inserts in, they're in there. Like until Jesus comes back, they're in there.
Hallelujah!
That's loud.
With this, you can melt this. Like what I do is I take this torch and I melt it and I stick it on the insert, get on the insert, put the insert in, and the insert is stiff and it's good in there. And if I ever want to take the insert out, all I got to do is lightly heat up this shaft, not set it on fire because you will ruin it. Lightly heat up this shaft, and that hot melt, it doesn't matter if it's like a year from now, that hot melt will soften back up and I can take the insert out if I want to. That's the advantage of using this. Now, Black Eagle specifically put on their arrows, like on the boxes, don't use this stuff, but we like to break rules. Fire and propane, gotta love it. Inside the house. What could possibly go wrong? Now, here's the thing with this hot melt. You have to move fast because it dries fast. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna melt this down a little bit, get it all over the insert, and hustle and get it into the shaft. I haven't really figured out the efficient way to do this, so I'm gonna just do this in real time, and if I mess up like I've done the past couple times using this hot melt, y'all's gonna get to see it. Okay, let me fix it. I got this. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. I'm a little nervous. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. No. Okay, gotta hurry. Hey. Nope. I got it. I'm sure there's like a bow technician watching this video somewhere like, this kid sucks. We're all just learning out here. If y'all wouldn't charge me $100 to do this, I'd come to y'all and do it, but that's why I had to buy my own stuff. Okay. We did that in a hurry, and I burnt my hand. Okay. All right, so once we get it here, we're going to take our outsert. This outsert doesn't have to be glued on unless you absolutely want it to. I would not recommend it. And we're gonna stick it on there. You'll feel it, like once you put this outsert on there, you'll feel the shaft hit. There's like the little wall in here. You'll feel this shaft hit the wall in that outsert, and you'll know it's in there. And then you can also measure it with your, if you have another arrow, you can measure it, make sure it's really in there. So if I line these two things up here, I look at the bottom of the arrow, they're lined up, we're good. It's all the way on there. All right, so once you realize that it's all the way on there, then you take your screw, and you can probably take your screw, go ahead and put it on the Allen wrench. I don't know what size this is. 3/32. And you just screw it in. Like so. So, there's that. Got my wraps, my 3 fletchings. So now what I'm going to do is, we're pretty much done. Now what I want to do is I want to weigh this arrow and make sure that it weighs within, I would love it if it was within 2 grains of the other ones. So we're gonna see how well I did with this one. Okay, so now I'm gonna take one of these arrows from last night and make sure that I was correct on my... Okay, so now let me show you. I'm sorry, they were 519. I can't get that to focus. 519. Whoa. 519.4.2. Okay, let me check the other one. Look at that. 519.2. 2 arrows, almost the exact same weight. Now the moment of truth, the one we just built. Here we go. 519.8. Hey, that is 0.6 within. That's what I want. I said 2 grains. It's 0.6 grains away. We did it, y'all. We freaking did it. That's how we build arrows. Hey, I want to thank y'all for watching this video. I hope y'all had fun. I had a lot of fun making it, if you couldn't tell. These things are going to be freaking darts. 519 grains, give or take a couple points, okay? 3 fletch. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure and hit the subscribe button. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just don't give me a thumbs down. Just go on to a different channel. You're fine. We can just go our separate ways and we'll be fine. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hunting season's coming up. I'm pumped up. More videos coming. We'll see y'all next time.
Young Apollo with the win.